everyone, I'm here with my dad, and I'm excited to tell you a little bit about my dad growing up. He's actually the son of an elementary school teacher who had been teaching for decades in a remote school in Iloilo. I remember dad telling me a story of how, as a young boy, he would tag along with his mom going to the school.
Yes.
They would take a jeepney ride for almost 45 minutes until the end of the road. And from there, they would walk a few kilometers, crossing two knee-deep rivers and climbing a hill where the school is located at the top. He would tell me that most of the kids are children of farmers and that my Lola would sometimes give them food for lunch. It may have seemed like an adventure for my dad and his young mind, but it was really something my Lola experienced every day. This experience taught him a valuable lesson on the importance of education and the importance of preparing for the future. This is also the reason why, at a young age, he would sell bananas at the wet market in their town to earn money for his allowance. Was it? Lutan.
Latundan.
Latundan. Okay, it was Latundan, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hearing him tell me these stories made me proud of him, and at the same time, I see firsthand the importance of saving money and of education. And now he is a PhD holder and one of the most influential Filipinos in the Gulf by Ilustrado magazine, who works with the Philippine consulates to help other Filipinos here in Dubai, right? That oh, he's in Paris now. Stories like these inspire me because it was through these stories that I discovered that I am a storyteller.
True.
In fact, I've been practicing handwritten stories since I was very young. I have a considerably vivid imagination, and writing them down is the only way for me to quiet my mind. These stories became longer and longer, and the more I write them, the more satisfying it felt like.
Yes.
It came to a point that I started to dream of publishing a book. But at the time, it was more of wishful thinking or something that I will probably accomplish after graduation or something like that. At this point, I was able to write and publish 2 books available in all countries with Amazon presence. And it was not easy in the beginning, but with passion, determination, and drive, it paved the way for me to slowly reach my dreams. In addition, publishing these 2 books was not my endgame. I wanted to find meaning and purpose and use this gift to help others. And that's why I decided to use the proceeds of the books to support those in need. All the proceeds of my first book went to provide relief goods to families here in the UAE affected by COVID-19 in partnership with the UAE Food Bank. Another portion of these proceeds were donated to the Friends of Kids with Cancer Foundation there in Iloilo to support kids battling the disease. And now for my second book, majority of the proceeds will be used to develop a reading center in one of the public schools in a remote village in Iloilo. This reading center will host kids of farmers as they learn to read. Bridging the story about my dad and the importance of preparing for the future. I can't help but to picture a world where people don't value saving for their future. What a gloomy future that would be. I would imagine that more children, more of us, would not be able to go to college as no funds were set up to finance their schooling. I would dread thinking of what would happen if someone in the family would fall sick. It must be damaging to that family financially and emotionally, as no funds were saved for their medical needs. And what would happen if, for some reason, our parents lose their jobs? No income coupled with no savings could mean, even at worst, no food on the table. I also know that many of you have already witnessed this right now. But if there is no savings, this kind of situation could get worse. Do you want to live in a world like this? Do you want to live in a world where there is no savings? And so, for the sake of our future and of all families, I would like to appeal to all of you listening right now. All of you who can alter our fate and our destiny. What you decide today on the income you receive every month will significantly affect our future and that of your family. As educators, we all look to you to better equip the next generation and prepare them for a better life. As what my parents have always taught me, simple things: monitor your money, spend less than what you earn, and always set aside a portion of your monthly income to be dedicated for the future, like medical expenses, education, unforeseen emergencies, and even investments. Saving money may sound simple, but in truth, just as my parents have taught me, it's about discipline.
Yes.
Saving for the future is an expression of love. Every penny you save, you are a step closer to the life you dream of. A comfortable life with the people you love. That's all that matters. And that, my dear teachers, is my love letter to you all. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so proud. Good job. Yes. Thank you, Isabella. Listening to you bring me happy memories. When I was like 6 or 7 years old, and I was tagging along with my mom, crossing those two rivers, where she taught for like decades in that school. I have witnessed at a very young age how the power of education and how it elevates people from poverty. And I have learned to appreciate the role of school teachers like yourselves, especially the public school teachers, in molding young minds, like molding young minds and preparing them to become valuable members of the society. As a proud son of an elementary school teacher, I carry with me the hunger to learn. And I guess you got it also, right?
Yeah.
So I never stopped learning until I reach my PhD. And I'm for sure that will not be the last. I will continue to learn and grow and fully convinced the value of education, the importance of education. As the founding chairman of the Association of Registered Financial Planners here in the UAE, part of my advocacy is to teach Filipinos both here and in the Philippines to actually manage and understand financial education. Creating a comfortable life for you and your family is mostly determined by how you manage your finances. With the knowledge that we have that our salaries will not last forever, it will have to end at some point. And how we manage what we receive every month will dictate our financial future. It is not too late to start a financial education. All we need is a firm commitment. From here on, I will take responsibility of my financial future, and that I will spend only what I can afford, and that I will ensure I save a portion of my monthly income without exemption.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
At the beginning, it would seem hard. It seems like it will take forever. Oh, it's a long time for you to actually accumulate the funds. But over time, the money you set aside religiously and without exemption will become a fortress for you that you can lean on when you need it. Right? And so myself and Isabella hope that we were able to share with you today what you can give and appreciate the value of education, your role as educators, and most importantly, we hope that we create in you a firm commitment to take charge of your financial education. And by the way, you remember the school that Isabella mentioned at the beginning? It's called Pughanan Integrated School, where she will give the proceeds of her book to develop the reading center. That school is very special because that's the school where your Lola or my Nana used to teach. So what we did was we went back at the beginning where all the dream, the passion came from. And then we give back to that school because we saw the value of education, we saw the value of teachers, and we saw how it has allowed people to be elevated from poverty. So congratulations, teachers, and thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.